All right, Pat, I know you've been splitting your time with Greg Nelson as well as at Grudge. What was kind of the split during the camp? Was it kind of like 50-50 at each?
Yeah, it's the first half at the academy with Greg Nelson, working on wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and pretty much killing people. Then the second half we go out to Grudge with Trevor Whitman and Jake Ramos are my coaches out there working on striking. Ever since I've gotten into MMA, I focused so much on my weaknesses and totally neglected my striking. So we changed that before the last fight against Shawn Rosario. Changed that up, got back to striking, and when that's fine-tuned, the wrestling and jiu-jitsu is a little bit easier to stop.
Where would you assess kind of your wrestling and jiu-jitsu? You were just in a grappling tournament recently.
I got my first arm bar. First. Ever. First arm bar ever.
He's second on Saturday.
It's possible, but Shawn's arms are like this long, so I don't know if I'm going to get that one.
When you look at this fight, obviously when people see, Pat Barry's in a fight, there's kind of that expectation that you're going to see fireworks. Do you go in with that cognizant that the audience, they want to see Pat Barry striking? Or is that something that, balance kind of a win versus, putting on a show for fans, which you've kind of given people?
Well, right. I mean, putting on a show for fans is something that just naturally happens with my style of fighting. I know we need to keep the fans happy. That's true. I just lucked out that my approach to a fight, the way that I go about doing it, just happens to be aesthetically pleasing, visually pleasing to the crowd. So I don't come in necessarily with the intent of I've got to make everybody happy in here and neglect the fight. I come in thinking I'm going to come and do my best, and that just happens. Like I said, I was lucky enough to just luck out that just happens to be what the fans like to see.
And just the last one for me here. When the news came out with Lavar Johnson having elevated levels of testosterone, he's a guy you fought just a year ago. Does your eyebrow kind of raise when you see that and wondering, well, was this guy clean during our fight last year?
It doesn't matter if you are skyrocketed levels of anything. I don't take that as a factor. Lavar, baby. Lavar Johnson is the man. He's cool as a mug. I've been talking to him regularly. Hopefully we'll be able to train one day. When the news came out about that, did I automatically start thinking about my fight? No. But I saw a lot of people saying, oh, that's the only reason why he beat me. No. He beat me that day. That had nothing to do with any elevated levels of nothing. He beat me. He punched me in the head, and it was over. That was it. Lavar's the man. He deserved that win. He earned that win. He outfought me that day.
When you hear stuff like that, though, about your colleagues popping hot for TRT and stuff like that?
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not for it, but I don't know. It's weird, man. If you take an NFL team from 2013 and match them up against an NFL team from 1956, that's a totally different sport. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that everyone should or they shouldn't. I don't. Red Bull. That's about it.
Speaking of energy levels, so you talked about your energy level in fights. We've seen it when you corner Rose, too. Your energy levels rocket high. What's it going to be like to get back in there instead of now you're out of her corner? She got to be in your corner now.
She's going to armbar me right in there. Her being here has been something that we've been contemplating. I'm thinking about, but I was like, when is the right experimental time going to be? But we just threw that out the window, man. It's just her being here and we've only been here for a half a day so far. The thing it's been spectacular.
It's about time.
What you were tweeting about getting into the country. What did you think of our border officials getting into Canada? Were there?
This is the thing. In 2009, I was red flagged for I don't know, and they pulled me to the side. I had to do all types of paperwork, but then I've been to Canada 5 times since then with no problem. And then for this time, it's like, all right, we've got to get all these fingerprints and everything done, and we got to make sure because we don't know if you cheated on that math test in 6th grade. And then when we got here, they looked at my passport, they swiped it and said, all right, go ahead. So my response was, all right, I'm going to walk through. And they're like, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm like, okay, I'm going. Don't let me get 8 feet away and then start sniping me in the kneecaps. But no, it was no problem. Coming in was great, yeah. Canada's.
So you like fighting in Canada then?
Yeah, I like fighting in Canada. I like fighting. No, I'm sorry. I don't like fighting anywhere, personally. But to play the game in Canada is great. The crowd out here is spectacular and they're different. I've never done a open workout like this. Never, ever. Like usually it's in a small room with y'all in there, but I've never been.
This is how Winnipeg does it.
Right, that's why I'm burned out right now, because I'm like, all right, we're just going to go out there, we're going to move around a little bit, not going to do much. As soon as we walked out here and people started chanting, I was like, oh damn. So I was not ready for that.
There's a lot of fans in Winnipeg for you, so I think you're going to get a lot of cheers come fight night.
Yeah, you're right. That's the plan. And as soon as the UFC opens up the 115-pound weight class, one more
Watch
time,
out.
let's throw it in there. Watch out, everybody. If you're 115 pounds, if you're 125, 130, it doesn't matter. If you're a dude and you're the same height as Rose, run for your life. She's coming. Invicta FC6, July 13th versus Tisha Torres. But before then,
She gonna be in your corner Saturday.
I'm throwing it right back in there. We have no idea. We don't know. I have 3 coaches that are coming out that are here. Jake Ramos is here already. Greg Nelson will be here Saturday. Trevor Whitman will be here Saturday also. So those are 3. So if I can possibly squeeze in the 4th, then absolutely. I'm thinking I'm gonna just keep her in my shorts and win the fight when no one's looking. I'm gonna take her and throw her at Shawn. Then she climbs back in and we'll be good.
Shawn's been talking a little bit about how you guys are kind of go back a ways. You guys are kind of buds, you're friends. Seen some tweets, seen some text messages you've posted, whatever. He's talking about how it's maybe a little bit easier for him to fight you because you guys are kind of tight, because it's going to be a better competition.
That's the better. I don't know why I never ever fight my teammates or my friends. Yeah, man, who would you be more comfortable fighting? Rose, who you've never seen before ever, or your little brother? You'd be a lot less nervous fighting your little brother, right? Right. Now, Shawn is not my little brother. He's younger than I am, but he's bigger than I am. I think he's shorter, though. I might have him by like a half an inch. But Shawn and I know each other. I feel way more comfortable fighting someone that I know than a total stranger.